Hi, Mission Vista.
Hello, Mission Vista.
Hey, Mission Vista. How's it
Hello.
going? All right. So we know you guys have a lot of questions. We're trying to fill you in as much as possible. So we're going to do a simple question and answer for some common questions that have been coming up for April 15th. And we're going to continue pumping videos out as time goes on. But for today's video, we're going to be just, like I said, answering a few questions that have been coming up regularly. And so we're going to start with in regards to social emotional support. Miss Parley, can you tell us how students can get support?
Definitely. So for social emotional support during this time, we want to make sure that you guys are getting as much of that as you need. So the district has actually set up a website, and on here there's information about all kinds of different resources out there. So if it's an immediate need and it's an emergency situation, obviously 911. But there are some other supports on here. So that would be a suicide hotline, the access and crisis line are listed on here, Coalition, the Trevor Project, there's text lines as well. There's also other resources that we have through the district, whether that's one of our social workers, whether that's ELD support, and all of that information is listed here on the Mission Vista website, or the Vista website. In addition, Mission Vista, we also have our information located on our webpage, and that information tells you how you can get in contact with us, whether that's going to be through email or whether that is going to be by setting up a virtual meeting. And then we still do have our survey on there if you haven't filled it out already for your student support survey for checking in with you to see if you still have any needs, and we'll get in contact with you about that.
Awesome. So we know that we're back up and running in terms of distance learning, and we want to continue supporting students with their academics. If students don't have access to a computer or technology, how do we get them help with that?
So Chromebooks are available to check out within Vista Unified. They've already done 3 days of distribution at Mission Vista and other sites as well. And I know that tomorrow, I believe they're setting up Wi-Fi distribution. So if you haven't done that already or gotten the technology support that you need, what you're going to be doing is contacting Mrs. Stone. She's our librarian. So you can do that by emailing her at jenniferstone@vistausd.org. In addition, if you're using your technology, you're trying to have access to things, or let's say you have a Chromebook from us and you just don't know, you're having technical issues. What the heck are you supposed to do? Vista Unified's info system has set up a tech support line that you can call, and they're open Monday through Friday from 8 to 3, and their phone number is 760-726-2170, and they're at extension 92500. So go ahead and call them if you need to.
All right. And, now that we're up with distance learning, students have been asking if they have to be in class during the laid out learning scheduled times. Can you touch on that a little bit, Ms. Parley?
Definitely. So the big answer is no. You don't necessarily need to be there during those distance learning times that we have in our schedule for you, but it is recommended. Some teachers are doing live class sessions, and it's great in order to have that interaction with your teacher and other peers, because there may be questions that are going on in there. But if you can't access it, then teachers should be giving you the same types of materials so you can access it during a time that you have available to you. We know that our lives right now are a little different than what they normally are. So if you're not able to access it during your selected period times, know that you'll be able to access that class material, whether it's through a video recording of a lesson, Google Classroom, or Google Hangouts. So our learning schedule is located on the website, and you can view it for more information.
And if my teacher has office hours, what does that mean?
So office hours are a little bit different for all teachers. Some teachers have it by appointment. Some kind of have it set up like it's an extra class that's available for you to access. So make sure that you're contacting your teacher to see what that looks like. For example, on Monday, you have classes of 1 and 3 in the morning. So office hours for second and fourth period are going to be in the afternoon that day. And then it kind of flip-flops and rotates throughout the week. And then Friday is open completely for office hours.
Finally, can you give us some information on what grading is going to look like for the rest of the fall semester or for the spring semester?
Great. A lot of students are having questions about what do my grades look like? Well, we just wrapped up. We had an extended week, so students were able to finish their midterms this last week. So if you should be getting a grade for that class, and that's going to be on the typical grading scale, will be factored into your GPA. So that's either the A through F grade. After that, the district did release last week that we will be moving towards pass-fail for the spring term final. So they're working right now to figure out what does that look like in terms of a GPA. That information will be coming out to you from the district probably within the next couple weeks. So look at that. In the meantime, do not fret. Okay, so we know that a lot of you guys, especially as college-bound students, are kind of concerned, like, what does this mean? I'm going to a four-year school. UCs, CSUs, private schools like Harvard have even come out and said, hey, you know what? Like, we're not going to penalize students. As long as they get a pass grade for this final, then we will accept that as like an A through C of what they would recommend. So what's really important is that you guys are staying on top of your academics as possible. Don't take this as an opportunity to be laxed, because in the fall, when you're in these physical classes again, fingers crossed, right, that you need to be prepared for that next level of learning. So make sure that you're keeping up with your academics as much as possible, because that will show in your grades and classes to come.
Thank you. And just to reiterate, this is information as of today, so April 15th. We will have more information to update you guys with as the weeks go on. Okay, I'm going to transition a little bit into course selections. I know we've been scheduling some virtual appointments with some of our students. We've met with some of you already. But how do I verify what classes are requested for the upcoming school year? And I'm going to throw this over to Mr. Kramer.
Great, thanks. So students, you'd go into your student portal account, then under the classes tab, and then go down to course requests. Important to know that students have view access here. Counselors have edit access. So that's why completing those forms are so important. There should be 8 classes listed along with 2 or 3 alternates. It's important that all classes listed are intentional, including your alternates. Okay, we are mostly successful getting you into your first choices, but sometimes that doesn't work out because of your class selections and our master schedule. So that's when we would go to use your alternates.
Awesome. Does a student miss out if course selections are, if they're in the later group for submitting their requests?
For getting their requests in, yeah. Actually, no. As long as the students submit their courses by the requested due date that we give them, then it should be fine. Our whole master schedule is built using what students ask for. Generally, we wait to begin the whole master scheduling process until we have most course requests completed and submitted.
Does anything else limit the students getting the classes that they request?
Yeah, there are some things. So master scheduling is actually a pretty complex process because we take into account our expected enrollment, class sizes, highly qualified teacher requirements, rooms and equipment limitations, and other things related to that. We also have some classes that are only offered a few times all year. And then there are situations that come up where we have to prioritize enrollment based on grade level. If we reach capacity in a course, seats are given to the higher grades first. And all of these are reasons why your alternate selections are also so important.
Perfect. If you haven't done so already, our virtual appointments are online on our website, so you can go on there and schedule an appointment to meet with your counselor and go over your course selections. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and jump on our website and go ahead and do that. Now, we want to cover a little bit into like testing and assessments. We know the spring semester is a big semester for AP tests, things like that. So Mrs. Parley, can you cover a little bit about testing and assessments?
Definitely. So testing and assessments is changing this spring. So first off, our SBAC or CASP testing that we have here in the spring, they are completely wiping it out. So it's nothing that they have in plans of rescheduling right now. I know some of our seniors have questions about that because that is kind of a tool that colleges use in order to figure out your placement. So I'm sure we're going to have more word about what that looks like in the upcoming months. But as of right now, they are just kind of wiping it. That's what the California Department of Education has recommended, that they're just suspending that for this year. In regards to AP testing, though, AP testing is still on. So AP tests will be administered online at home. Exams are limited to 45 minutes of length. And the exams will be addressing a reduced scope of content. So students who previously registered for the exam, you have the option of canceling that exam without any penalty. So if you have any questions about your AP exams, feel free to either talk to your AP teachers who should have information about it, or our AP testing coordinator, Mrs. Stearman. And you can reach her at zaneStearman@vistausd.org if you have any other questions.
Perfect. Now, I want to just cover some specific information for juniors who are moving into senior year. This is a big semester where we start giving you guys information on college, so we don't want to forget that. If you are a senior who's planning on applying for college for the fall, we have not heard any information about UC or the CSU pushing back their applications. So as far as we're concerned, the UC application still opens August 1st for submission October 1st, and the CSU application is planning to open October 1st. All students that are applying through Common App should check their respective schools for those application dates. And then what should you be doing for college application season? Right now, it's a good time to be working on your resume. It's a great time to be filling out your brag sheet. If you haven't done so already, you can start requesting your letters of recommendation as long as your brag sheet or your resume is done. And contact your school representatives to see if there's been any changes in terms of applications or submissions or any of that stuff. And then finally, apply for scholarships. There's still a lot of scholarships available for all students out there. So if you haven't done so already, contact our career tech, look for scholarships, and start trying to get some of that free money. So, but now that colleges are going SAT optional due to the coronavirus, Ms. Parli, how can students make their application stand out?
That's a great question. So we always talk to students when we're at school or whether we're in the virtual world now of thinking big and mapping backwards. This is really important because those dreams and those goals that we have are what should set us up on a path of how to get there. So some of the things that you want to be thinking about right now are the classes that you signed up for next year, the right classes that are going to show your highest level of competency. Have you started exploring related things to your dreams, like an internship or an externship, a job, a summer opportunity, if it's still available, volunteer opportunities? People are getting really creative in the ways that they're being able to spend their time, even though we have social distancing. There's still ways to do these things right now. It could even be virtual. Still take the tests. Okay, this goes for APs, SATs, ACT subject or SAT subject tests, or the ACTs when those become available again. And the biggest thing we say is that, great, you take the test and you do well, awesome. Now you have something to give to your colleges, even though it's test optional, to show that, like, hey, this is my understanding of learning. Also, if you bomb it, oh, well, you don't necessarily have to send it. So it's a real big benefit to you guys right now to take those. Also, you probably have a lot of free time potentially on your hands. So use that. If you took the PSAT this last year, go on and use your access code to get those extra study tips that they have. Use the Khan Academy. And there's tons of other resources that are on our website and that you can just Google search for access to those. Other things, start your college essays or personal statements now. A lot of students wait until, let's say, it's even October or November, and they're jamming through those essays and they just do not sound good. It really doesn't give a true explanation of who you are. So go onto your college websites right now, Google search some common questions that they're most likely are going to ask you, whether that's through the Common App, whether that's the UC website. Go on there and get those questions and start practice writing, or even just start outlining what you think you want to talk about. In those college essays, they're looking for information on skills, talent, life experiences. They don't want to know all about your academics. They can see that, or they can see those testing scores. So focus on those.
We know that there's a lot of students right now that are currently taking advantage of free time, and they might be, spending more time with their family. Others are spending it working. So for those students who need work permits, how do we get them a work permit, Miss Parley?
So Mission Vista is working on that because the form actually needs some physical signatures. So Mrs. Zilk is taking that on as a task. And word from our admin office is if you need a work permit and you don't have one yet, please go ahead and email her. It is amyzilk at vistausd.org, and she will let you know what you need to do for that process.
All right. Cool. And, we have a special guest with us today. We have Mr. Faraimo, our career tech, and he's going to be talking about scholarships a little bit. So, Mr. Faraimo, can you update us on some scholarship search tips?
Sorry, I was muted, but what's up, you guys? Thank you, Mr. Chavarin. I'm going to be touching on scholarships. Just keep in mind, like Mr. Chavarin had said earlier, that if you visit our website, you're not only going to see a lot of lists of different scholarships, but a lot of different websites. And so for underclassmen, make sure you guys are checking those out, because right now, a lot of scholarships are going to be for class of 2020. So seniors, make sure that you guys are checking out the local scholarship calendar often, because I update it daily. A lot of different organizations, they will send me updates throughout the week, and most of them are usually deadlines. And so you'll see that a lot of local organizations have moved their deadlines to a later date. They understand the situation with you guys, obviously with COVID-19, school closures, access, internet. So they want to make sure they make this process as easy for you as well. So again, check the local scholarship calendar often. A lot of local organizations have moved their deadlines to a later date. And then also some of those scholarships, they originally had asked for an official transcript. And I know a lot of you seniors are starting to stress out, how do I get an official transcript? Don't stress. Here's what you can do is, one, if you already have an official transcript in your possession, what you can do is just scan that transcript along with all your other documents and send that to whatever email address is provided. If you do not have an official transcript, an unofficial transcript will work as well. Okay, so for instance, the Vista Optimist Foundation, today's the 15th, their scholarship deadline is today. You would scan your official transcript and send that over. If not, just send in unofficial. That would also go for Timberwolves Foundation as well. Originally, they asked for official transcripts, but they're gonna go ahead and use unofficial. So that's what you guys can do. So don't stress about official transcripts being required. Also, if it says scholarships to turn into the Career Center, obviously school is closed. You can't do so. Submit all your documents to me, and I'll make sure that I submit that to that local organization, because if there's no email address attached or no physical address attached, they expect those scholarship applications to come to me. So make sure you email all those documents to me. I will send them over. I will CC you as well, and then I will follow up as well to make sure that your scholarships are submitted. The other thing is our Mission Vista High School senior application. Deadline is Friday, so this Friday. So I know we've moved our application deadline, and again, if you haven't done so, make sure you do. It just makes you eligible for the local scholarships that are specific to Mission Vista High School seniors. And that's pretty much it. So again, if you guys have any questions regarding scholarships, whether it's researching, whether it's requirements, email me. Even if it's past the deadline, a lot of these organizations, like I said, they understand that we're in a weird transition, we're in a weird crisis, and they want to make sure that they're able to help you guys as best as possible. So feel free to email me. I'll do my best to get back to you guys as quickly as possible. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Mr. Faraimo. Okay, well, that's it for us. So I know we've given you guys a lot of information, and we're going to continue guys updating you guys as the weeks go on. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're posting videos, probably twice a week with updated information. But a lot of this information you can find through our Mission Vista counseling page. Be sure to visit it for resources with college applications, scholarships, career assessments, appointment with your counselors, information on planning for your 4 years of high school. Anything you need, it's on the website, and don't hesitate to reach out to any of your counselors if you have questions or concerns about anything. So this is us signing off. We miss you guys. We love you guys, and we hope that everybody's doing well. So shout out to all the people on the front lines, and thank you guys for all your hard work. And from us to you guys, we love you guys.
Love you, and we will see you next week.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye, guys.